Indeed. We start off in Stillwater where the Cowboys will play first this Thursday night at 6 against Central Michigan.
Well, it'll be the first action on the new turf inside Boone Pickens Stadium.
I had a chance to sit down with Coach Gundy, who was just inducted to the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame this year, and we started with a flashback in a season that ended inches short of a Big 12 championship. Do you use last year at the end of that Big 12 title as motivation? Do you put it away and not think about it? Like, how does that game transition to this team this year?
Well, there's two things. For me, it never goes away. So I wake up in the middle of the night thinking about games that we didn't win, thinking about those situations. And I have always thought eventually as I get older, I'll wake up thinking about like the Fiesta Bowl. It never happens that way. It never gets off my mind. But with the team and social media nowadays, we don't have to bring any of that up. That stuff comes back to them all the time.
No question. And then you guys have that amazing game in the Fiesta Bowl. What about that game in particular? Down 21, you come back, you win that game against a brand like Notre Dame. What have you seen from that game, what it's done maybe in the offseason and also just for the OSU brand?
Well, it was huge for our brand. You know, in the fourth quarter, we had 14.2 million people watching the game. At the trophy celebration, when we could celebrate our logo, there were still 5 million watching. So we got a national exposure, probably second to none.
Talk about camp. How was fall camp? Did you get that fit? Because you told me last year, you guys kind of raised the bar a little bit from a physicality standpoint. It paid dividends. Did you follow that same blueprint this offseason?
We practiced hard, and it's a tough man's game. It's a violent game. It's not normal for two humans to want to run into each other. Only certain people can do it. That's why it's the greatest teaching tool for life. This game is a great teaching tool. We practiced hard in preseason. Sometimes we get guys beat up. I take a lot of heat from the staff. They're on me all the time about, Coach, we're being too physical. You know, this is a lot. But I have to make a decision, and I don't call plays anymore. I don't draw plays up. My decision is physicality and toughness. I would rather be in a game during the season early in September, and maybe a guy or two's banged up a little bit, even though none of us like that, and they can't play for a little while, then stand there and get my butt kicked because I'm not physical. I can't, that's hard for me to swallow, and I think I'm responsible for that.
Your first year was my last year. So your first year as a head coach was my last year playing college football. Now this is year 18, I believe. I would love to know, compare and contrast Coach Gundy back in 2005 to Coach Gundy heading into 2022. What's the same, what's different?
So when I took the job, I'm being really honest here, I wasn't smart enough to know how hard it was. I just worked. That's the way I was raised. That's what was instilled in me as a kid. And I'm fortunate because if I really would have been smart enough to sit down and think about everything that had to take place for us to be successful at Oklahoma State, I wouldn't have been able to get the job done because I would have hit panic mode. So for, gosh, 10 years, 8 to 10 years, I never looked up. I mean, we just went full speed. We practiced hard. We made mistakes. We corrected them. My patience level was 0. Which was a mistake, but I didn't know. All I knew was, you know, I spent a lot of my life wrestling, so all I knew was just go until they blow the whistle or until you go off the mat and then keep going. That's all I knew. So I've learned patience now, and that comes from my mom. She told me during my 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th year coach as a head coach, she said, you need patience, Michael, you're out of control. And I said, well, I don't understand. She said, you need to listen and be more patient, and it's going to make you a better football coach. I didn't understand that. I just kept going. Well, I understand that now. My last 3 or 4 years, I've learned patience. I've learned to be patient with the team, patient with the players. That's the changes I've made from then until now.
The last thing I asked Coach Gundy was what were the keys going to be to winning a second Big 12 championship? As all coaches say, health, of course, but significant, quick improvement at linebacker, he added, as well as running back stepping up. And that room really balancing out this offense and giving Spencer Sanders the help he needs for playmakers on the offensive side.